Good morning, welcome to Ag Talk in the Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. I have to get my expensive glasses on because they don't show the reflection. I don't know if you all saw that. See that? Not really a reflection. Cheap Walmart readers. That's what you see. Weird. Anyway, good morning. Us, the crew at the farm, have been at a relative standstill. Not really been able to do much of anything in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, pretty much 2 weeks. I planted these soybeans. I planted more soybeans. I had about 300 acres, a little over 300 acres in the ground, and it's been rain every other day. Not deluges of rain, just constant, steady rain. And most of the beans are out of the ground. It's been cold as well. We haven't had any 80-degree days in the last 2 weeks. It's just been 40s at night, 60s during the day, sometimes only in the 50s. Ended up in New York City again the other day before yesterday. I was there doing some stuff for Teresa's mom. She had some things to do, but just really chomping at the bit, getting ready to get these planters in the ground. I mean, they got to get going. Both corn planters are going to have to run and they're both ready, pretty much ready. The big one, I'm having a little issue with the big one. Was going to run the 7530, the big one on the 7530. Yesterday I put I had a hitch that Cody had built, or I had Cody build, for the front of the 7530 to load balers onto trailers to get them on and off the trailers down in North Carolina, and here in New Jersey, get them on and off. And we don't use it that much. Once in a while, throw it on there. It's a good bumper. But anyway, I had some 1/2-inch thick 4x4 square hollow tubing. I was going to make a weight bar for it, a weight bracket. Just weld it right fast to that thing. And we were going to hang 1,600-pound front weights onto the front of that tractor to make it so that it would hold the front end down for the corn planter. And which would have been awesome, right? It would have been totally awesome. And I still have some hopes and dreams of doing something similar to that with the 6210R, because I can't use the 7530 and run GPS. I could, but it would be very exhausting watching a monitor and a monitor and a monitor to plant with a 60-row corn planter. Now, I could use the markers. I really could use the markers, but sometime at night, it's very difficult to use the markers in no-till. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy to use the markers at night in no-till. So I've made the executive decision to not use the markers again this year. And the smaller 12-row corn planter, there's no markers on that. So why can't I use the auto steer on the 7530? Well, the guy that bought that tractor had it spec'd out for guidance, right? Guidance. No auto track. They didn't put the auto track valve in. There's no SCC controller in the tractor. Yesterday I put the globe up on there. I had to buy a gender changing cable to make it work because it was set up for the older ITC receiver or antenna. And I have a Starfire 3000 globe, and I put that on there, and I put the monitor in it, and I fired it up, and it was like, we're not sure if we're going to work or not, but we're going to work. It took it a really long time to get enough satellites collected to actually be within 100% of accuracy. Okay, cool. It took me half an hour to get that thing to do that. What a wicked bruise on me right there. Did you see that? I think my wife was beating on me. So then I went to, the little pie, if you're a John Deere guy and you have John Deere guidance, a little pie on the side. It comes up and you do step 1, step 2, step 3, and then step 4 is giddy up and go. It wasn't there. It just had a round circle and it said recording. And I just couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with this thing? So we fiddled around and went through. Maybe things weren't set up within the tractor correctly, in the tractor's computer system. And finally, I broke down and I called service at John Deere out here at Lehigh. What is it called? Deere Country Lawn and Farm and Garden or whatever. Anyways, looked up, called them up. A woman called me back. She's like, this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Let me get a technician involved here. So the technician called me, and he's like, his name is Gary. I've met Gary several times, and he's very blunt. I like him. There's nothing wrong with him at all. Very blunt, to the point kind of guy. And sure enough, he's like, well, I don't think that tractor has an auto steer in it. I'm like, this is almost impossible. How could this tractor not have the auto track installed? On the right hand side here, there's a button with the steering wheel thing, the auto track resume button. It's there. I said, it's got the globe on the top. It's got the mount on the side. He says, yeah. He said, they can do that. It's Green Star ready. He said, but I just don't think it's there because, some of those, if the farmer that ordered it didn't want it, then it isn't in there. I said, well, I own this tractor and I want it. How much is it going to cost to buy this unit? He said, it's going to be like $5,000. Like $5,000 to put auto track in. He says, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, well, all right. How can we tell if it's not in there? Because I just cannot believe. He said, and he was a little cocky like Gary gets. And it's okay. I can deal with that. And sure enough, he says, well, on the monitor, hit the GS3. I said, no, mine's Green Star 2. Oh, 2. All right, whatever. Up in the upper right-hand turn. Click on that. He says, and you go to what the hell is it? Anyway, services or whatever, and then there's a wrench. You click the wrench, and then it'll give you the list of controllers that are in the tractor. He says, you're going to be looking for an SCC controller. If that SCC controller is not in there, then it doesn't exist on that tractor. I was like, well, I find that hard to believe for a couple of reasons. I said, it says that there are, what do you call it? There's fuses in place for the SCC, TEC, SCC controllers. TCU SCC controller. So this is a European tractor or an English tractor. I got it in 2016. Me and Teresa went over to England, bought these tractors, had them shipped back. I would like to do again. I really would. If I could find a good 6210R, 6215, something like that, I would ship them back here. And I've always had this. Want and need to actually buy these tractors from over there, bring them in, not convert them, but make them Americanized, take the hitches off, put in drawbar hitches and regular pull arms and stuff like that, and then resell them, which would be fun. What the hell is that? Oh, what is that? I know what that is. Rubber. Here, I thought I had a damn melanoma. Like, what the heck is that? Anyways, no, it's a bead sealer we put on the tire. Anyway, that's what I've always kind of wanted to. So anyways, Gary's like, nope. He said, give me your serial number, and if you got the serial number, let me know what it is. So I took a picture of the serial number, and I said to him, I was like, well, okay. Give me, he said, give me the serial number. I'll look it up. I'll look in the build code. Sure enough, he says, it is Green Star ready. It has everything there except auto track. It does not have auto track. Like, oh, all right, so no auto track, right? Damn it, why would somebody do that? Well, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means that when they built it, it wasn't there. And I got the switch there to resume, auto track resume, which kind of weird. So I said, thanks, Gary. I'm going to, to mull this over whether I'm going to have to change tractors or just go ahead and get the controllers and everything that's necessary to put this thing in. I don't really want to spend $5,000 on a 7530 premium that's, it's an older tractor. I'll just take the loader off the 6210R and plant with that, But anyways, I'm not convinced that this thing isn't in there. I'm really not convinced. So sometimes John Deere and other manufacturers, they will install these things, right? Because they will install stuff, and dealerships will disable things when they go to sell them. Right, so to turn them back on. Now this thing was in England, not Europe, but England. It was in England or the United Kingdom. That's where it was. So I'm like, all right, it's a UK tractor. They might have different policies over there than we have here in the United States. That auto track may need to be disabled in order to ship it overseas. These are things that could very well possibly be. Okay. So what I did was I went into the tech mode on the 7530. If you don't know what technician mode is, it allows you to get into those controllers and you can change the settings, the parameters, things. You can do a lot more in that, all within the tractor. You don't need a computer. Most guys come out, the technicians come out and they hook their computer up, and they're in technician mode then, because the computer talks to the tractor, and then everything's on a laptop. All that information, believe it or not, is in your book. You can do the transmission calibrations without a computer. You can do things with the engine without a computer. There's ECU things that you can calibrate there. You can calibrate your power takeoff shaft if you're not sure what that. Any of the calibrations you need to do can all be done on board in these tractors. If you didn't know that, you do now. You just need to know how to get into technician mode, right? So it's not hard. It's not hard, but it's not well known. Like a Krone baler, getting into the technician mode on a Krone baler is pretty easy if you know what to do. It's all a matter of addition. There's a code that comes up and you add each number together and that gives you the code. It's kind of cool, and then you can get into technical mode there. So if you're not sure about that, you know now that when you want to go into technician mode on a Krone baler, if you've got some issues within there and you want to turn stuff on and off, you can do that through technician mode. There's a series of numbers, you add them together. So it's 1, 2, 5, 7, 3. You add all those numbers together and then type in that number, that all addition. Boom, you're in tech mode. But John Deere, it's a series of pushing buttons, holding, releasing, counting to a set number. I'm not going to let that secret out there just because I could, but I just don't. I think people can really, if a young kid is watching this, they could go into their mom and dad's tractor and really fuck stuff up by accident. So that's why I'm not going to turn it loose. Because I know there's some young kids out there who would love to get into technician mode thinking they're going to up the horsepower on a tractor. It doesn't work that way. You can calibrate stuff. You can do stuff. There's a calibration for the turbocharger you can do. And you can do it from the computer. But anyway, I go into technician mode and I'm looking for that SCC controller or TCU, SCC. So you have a TCU controller and an SCC controller. They are not installed. They're not there. They were not disabled. They just weren't there. So the 7530 is not auto track capable. It is Green Star ready. It has everything to go on that. It just is not auto track. So I'm wondering if I can go to a salvage yard. A salvage yard would be able to pull that unit out. It's a steering motor and stuff. Pull that unit out of there on a salvage, and I could put it in myself. They say it'll take about 8 hours, so it'll probably take about 4. Yeah, put it in and have auto track ready, but I don't have time to do it now. It'd be something for the future. So there you go. Those are my sagas, what we've been doing. I put it in the 8530, hooked her up, 8530, runs beautifully, auto steers, does well, knows what it's doing. Teresa needs to auto steer. You're not naked in there, are you? Asawa? Are you naked in there? Okay, because that door is cracked open. I can see your head. What are you doing? Oh, okay. Not naked. Yeah, I didn't bother to shut the door and I should have. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, that's happened before. She's been naked on YouTube, right?
What?
You've been naked on YouTube, right?
What about me being naked?
On YouTube.
I'm not naked. I'm not.
Remember you were naked on YouTube?
Oh, that was an accident.
It was an accident. You can shut that door because nobody needs to see that.
Our mess?
The mirrors on the ceiling and the mess in the bedroom. There's no mirrors on the ceiling.
You're sick.
I'm sick. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's been going on. VT's ready to go. We're supposed to be getting, what, 7 days of clear weather?
It's supposed to be.
So it's going to take us a couple of days to get dried out.
Yeah.
And then it's going to take us a few days to get ahead of ourselves. You know, we're going to have to run that vertical tillage machine on. I got to go spray possibly this afternoon or today. I got to spray, do some more burn down and get ready for that. Hay is coming like a freight train. It's the 18th. Orchard grass is now headed out, so we're going to be making some quality hay, I guess, because the mushroom barns, I'm a little bit concerned that they're not even going to be. I just don't think they're going to be a viable thing, you know. I mean, I'm kind of pissed about that, but I haven't even gotten a phone call as to. I do need to make a phone call, but I have no purchase price. I have no idea. We have put fertilizer on some of it, most of it. I do have a little bit more fertilizer to put on, but we really need to get this corn in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite honest with you, we live in an area where don't hurry up. Don't be in too big a hurry to get your corn in the ground. It'll bite you in the ass every time. Yeah, it'd be nice. If everything was perfect and running well, it'd be nice to put corn in the ground. But I do have 3 farms up north that need, well, I got 1, 2, 3, well, all the county stuff needs to be put in now, and it could very well be put in today.
Yeah, you can.
You know, where the peas are.
Yeah.
Where the peas are, we could run. I'm going to go up there this morning, I guess, take a look at it.
Okay.
And see if we can run the VT. I'll go yank the 6210R home. I'll have to yank the 6210R home to put on that corn planter. Spray, or just, you know, I can't drill beans where I want to drill beans because the ground's a little bit too wet. But anyway, so that's the deal, right? That's the deal. That's the thing with living in my area in New Jersey. To the north, I think they got everything pretty well planted because it's a more forgiving soil, higher drainage. I wouldn't say they got everything planted, but they've planted. They can plant when it's a little bit wetter. They can, you know, and get away with it. We can't. We can't at all. What do you think? No?
Yeah.
I don't think we can. Sprinklers. Did you like that?
Focus.
I can't focus. You're standing next to me. What did you do to me to bruise me up like that?
That's right.
What did you do?
That's
You
right.
must have hit me.
Yep.
She's
That's
violent.
what I do all the time.
You know, the Asians cause the worst wars.
Yeah, no worst. Don't get an Asian.
No, you don't want to do that. Look, I was a young man when I met her.
Get the hell out of here.
Huh? I turn the camera, you can see her shaking her ass. See, that's big trouble over there. Right? Anyway, I guess we're done here. I can post this to somewhere, and y'all can enjoy it. And, yeah, we're just trying to get things going. Oh, yeah, just trying to get things going. There's something else that popped into my head, but I've decided not to speak about it.
Don't speak about it.
Well, what did you think I was going to speak about?
Something good.
It was not dirty. It was, well, I can talk about it. The fertilizer plant called me up and said, hey, are you going to pick up this Bicep and Prowl. I'm going to use Bicep and Prowl, and I used it last year. Worked out just fine. I really don't have a broadleaf issue. I have a grass issue, and Prowl will take out that grass. And for the most part, I can use 2,4-D. I got clarity that I can put on corn if I have a broadleaf issue in there. But glyphosate generally smokes that stuff anyway. They said, well, because if you are going to be needing it, we're out. We haven't gotten a shipment in. So I've got 50 gallons of Bicep left and no Prowl. But I really need to get that in. I need to get that stuff in because I just need it. Because I got to start spraying the residual. I wasn't going to use a residual this year on corn just because. And then I was talked out of it. I know, Eastern Shore Farmer, he said that he's got better spraying capabilities than I do. I have to go across the corn rows because the tires on my tractors are rather wide. They're 27 inches. And 27-inch tires in a 30-inch row. Not a good combination, but he's got the little skinny ones on his sprayer. So I just need to get one of them. My wife is after me to get one of those sprayers, and I just haven't, she's like, you need it. And I was like, yeah, I need it, but I also need to be profitable. And if I'm over leveraged on equipment, I can't do that. I just can't do that. So anyhow, that's just where that is. So I'll just use that, and I'm going to use a residual. And because what he'll do is he would come back in with a lightning or ignite or the hell's that other stuff? Well, it was Liberty herbicide, and just smoke the weeds just at canopy. And then once that corn canopies, the only problem that he would have would be grasses, late season grasses like fall panicum. We have fall panicum. That is not something that I felt that we could get away with. Fall panicum is like a midsummer germination crap, like foxtail and fall panicum. If it gets a little bit of a sunlight even through that canopy, oh boy, things could be a mess in the fall, which will severely impact the yield, and I don't want to do that. I mean, we're running minimum inputs this year anyway, just because I am not dumping 650 pounds of basically 12-24-24 or 12-23-23-05 on. I put sulfur on last year in ammonium sulfate form, which brought my levels up. I will be adding boron. I am going to use a product called MEZ, though, M-E-Z. So that's what I'm going to be using, MEZ, M-E-S-Z. And at 100 pounds to the acre, 120 pounds to the acre, I'd be pretty happy with that. It's expensive. It's $800 a ton or so. I'm going to use that on it. And I need to do that pretty much starting Monday. So I'm going to go check these fields, and then I'm going to go get MEZ. At 100 pounds to the acre, I can have Grant put that on with the spreader. He can be running MEZ 60 acres at a shot, and it's closer to the fertilizer plant where I'm putting his corn anyway. And that's that's how we're gonna deal with this. If you've never used MESZ, you're right there with me. I have never used it either. It's basically, I do believe, what the old ammoniated fertilizers were, which is zinc, phosphate, and other micros in it all together. So each prill has a balance of phosphate and zinc. So that's what we're going to go with on that. 100 pounds to the acre is enough to do what I need to do with corn. As far as that, if you have zinc and if you're imbalanced in zinc and phosphate, what is it, 4 to 1? 4 to 1? Yeah, 4 to 1 zinc phosphate. If it's imbalanced, you could severely hurt your corn. It will drop your yield as much as 40%. It's crazy. So anyway, that's what I'm going to use. I learned a lot in school this year, going to school, ag school, because I'm such a smarty pants. All right, because I know everything. I know everything. Yeah, I was accused of knowing everything. You know what? I only know what I know because I read and I research. Is the stuff that I know 100% right and accurate? Hell no. Do I screw up? Hell yes. Do I admit when I screw up? For the most part, I do. Unless it's so bad that and ludicrous, then no. But I don't know anybody that would. But I've showed the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I love showing the good. I hate showing the ugly. The bad, I'm okay with. That's because let's face it, you can have if you plant 500 acres and 100 acres is bad. Like, what the hell? Like, what did I do so wrong here? I have taken care this year to actually try to avoid the bad and the ugly. And I'm going to take those steps to level those up. And I have. We have one farm, pulled the soil tests on it. pH I knew was bad. Thought I could get away with it. I was sorely mistaken. I could not get away with what I was attempting to get away with, but I was sorely mistaken with that. So this year we dumped 3.5 tons of lime to the acre, bringing that pH up to a manageable level where the herbicides will work, because that's usually what happens. The herbicides just do not work in an acidic environment. They work too good in an alkaline environment, but they don't work good enough in an acidic environment. So the whole point is to avoid the acidic environment, and we have spread one hell of a lot of lime this year. I still would like to get some more lime out there on it, but yeah, I can't afford any more, right, dear?
Yep.
I've spent probably, oh my God, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Probably close to $25,000 in lime. Yeah, it's a lot, and we spread it ourselves. So I went and got it myself, and we spread it ourselves. Grant did most of it. He did where I told him to put it, what I told him to put on, and how to do it. So I was pretty pleased with the results that he did. He did a good job. I thought he was a little bit wide, but the spreader really does chuck it quite far. But I would have much rather had him on a 50-foot spread pattern, and I think he was just a little too wide, and we'll see in this. But for some reason, lime does kind of migrate. It does not, next year we'll put it on a crossways so that we have this checkerboard effect, and then I'll have all these little squares on some of these farms that are, kind of, what the heck, but water moves lime pretty easily. Our soil cracks open pretty easy, and there's cracks in it, so as that 3 inches of rain, the lime goes down, starts its job down 3-4 inches deep as well. We're going to go over it with the vertical tillage machine, not aggressively, but enough that it'll stir it up and actually get that lime calcium into that 1.5 to 2 inch range where it needs to be. And the soybeans that we plant on that ground is going to should look really, really well. I mean, the beans that are coming up now are just flat out gorgeous. I'm pretty pleased with them. So anyways, this is 28 minutes long. I'm going to go ahead and put this up, and y'all can enjoy it. If not, leave a comment if you like it, a thumbs up if you like it, comment if you want to comment. I try to get back to the intelligent comments. Unintelligent comments, it's like, are they worth my answering? I mean, these are, genuine questions are always accepted, and I really, quite honestly, like to answer good, genuine questions. I really hate it when people ask me stupid questions like, what color underwear does Teresa wear? Well, A, it's none of your damn business. B, who said she wore underwear? But anyway, have a nice day. Have a nice day. I hope you enjoyed this one.